It's been 5 years. 5 years since a fresh-faced Volodymyr Zelenskyy became president. In peacetime Ukraine, that would mean now is the end of his term and fresh elections. But with the country under martial law since 2022, a vote's prohibited and the incumbent president continues in office. In a statement last November, he said that was the right course.
Now is the time of defense, the time of the battle that determines the fate of the state and the people. It is not the time for manipulations, which only Russia would expect from Ukraine. I believe that now is not the right time for elections.
Few here question his ongoing legitimacy, and he remains popular. Although lower than before, his approval rating is still at over 60%. Many Ukrainians also feel an election would be unrealistic and disrupt the war effort. In a poll this March, 78% of those asked said they were against elections before the end of the war. But in addition to that, there's also the practical difficulties. Some Ukrainian towns are in ruins, many power plants have been hit, so there are rolling blackouts in parts of the country. And perhaps most importantly, 8 million Ukrainians are displaced, 5 million of them outside of the country. There's also the problem in getting the vote to Ukrainians in Russian-controlled regions. But there have still been some questions from outside of the country. Political analyst Alexei Harand says they come from one place.
When we hear about this election, that it's necessary to have these elections because otherwise Zelenskyy will not be legitimate. Who is saying that? Russia. Dictator in Russia is saying that.
Within Ukraine, there's more concern about the concentration of power in the hands of President Zelenskyy and a few others in his inner circle. Opposition MP Volodymyr Zelenskyy argues for a national unity government to dilute that power and eventual elections too, even during the war.
So free world should remain free and democratic, even in the most difficult conditions. Otherwise, beating the dragon returns to dragon. And that we should preserve and should stop all possibilities for that.
But a vote in Ukraine still looks as far away as victory does, for a country struggling to stop a Russian advance. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.